Yes, you are still onto the economy today, and today we want to look at a particular arm of the sector, and it is on the business sector. We want to look at the IT sector now, on how things concerning both consumers, brands operate. And today we're speaking with somebody who is also who is into the IT business management sector, who looks at such brands. Followers, views, reviews, and the rest of them on how they impact on brands and also on consumers. So we're looking at brand promotion and consumer satisfaction. I have with me here in his office, Murtada. Well,
thank you very much.
Yes, first of all, people want to understand exactly what is brand promotion and consumer satisfaction. How do you promote a brand, and then how do you get consumer satisfaction on the brand?
Okay, essentially for brand promotion, for any product or service, they just need to highlight the benefits for the user, because it's important to actually highlight those benefits for the user, so that the user, because most users would prefer to go for a product or service, based on what it actually, whether it actually meets or satisfies, their need.
All right, meet or satisfy the needs. Now, a look at what brand promotion is. I want to look at what brand promotion is it in particular now, because there's a brand, there's a product. And so sometimes people tend to want to differentiate the two, and say, okay, this is a product, like this plastic, like this magazine we have here now could be a product, but it is actually a brand with so many things written on it and everything it drives. What drives a brand? Let me put it, that's the question. What drives a brand? What is it that you think drives a brand?
Yeah, so, for a brand, what actually drives it is, there has to be some sort of perception that that brand actually, will actually show to users. So when users actually have that, perception, they will actually associate it with that, particular brand.
All right. So you are into the word reviewing things, because I still try to understand that now, trying to understand what exactly is to review brands, comment made by consumers, because it is all about the consumers. It's all about what gets to the consumers. Now, who exactly is the right consumer? Because I can actually just come to a platform, see something, I feel like maybe I'm on a particular brand. Let me use the word Kunga. And I want to just on that platform, and I see it, and I see some reviews there. It could actually encourage or discourage me to go and buy anything in that store. So for you, who is in that segment, you understand, who is in that sector, who actually knows what operates, how do you differentiate between the real consumer who checks out who gives the right reviews, and the fake consumer who gives out another type of view?
Yeah, so, essentially what users actually look out for is, there has to be some sort of, human feel, such that, that experience is genuine. And, it's important that if you are leaving review on any platform, you actually put a human feel to it, so that, people can actually associate, with that review. And it's also important that in addition to, reviewing that, you can also share, experience of using that product, in terms of either attaching pictures to them, or you can also make, some short videos about those, that product, so that actually adds extra credibility to that review.
So how does the real consumers know who is, if that brand is actually true? Because we seem to have a lot of scams out there now, who will actually have a website, another type of website, designed so correctly that you may not even, you won't be able to suspect any form of foul play on that side of website, saying, oh, this website is correct, this website is good, this website is genuine. You understand? And people just latch onto it. So from your experience, how do you do that so that people will be able to see this website is the right website?
Yeah, so essentially for, most websites, for websites, you actually have it as HTTPS. The S there actually means that, it's a secure website, such that whatever transaction you are making on that website is actually over a secure tunnel, which actually distinguishes that from, other general websites that is just the HTTP, kind of website that somebody can just put up and, overnight to actually use that to, mislead, the public.
So there are, okay, that serves like a regulator, like something like stopping the hackers or the, internet fraud people from doing, from creating a particular site that could actually just scam people.
Yeah, so that essentially means that, for that site, it's actually, your communication with that site is actually over, a secure connection. But again, too, we also, it's important that, users actually know websites they, they go onto on the internet, because you actually have, also, because the internet is, a very large platform where somebody can just come up to set up websites. So for genuine websites, you actually see them. There's what they also call, the SEO, where you can actually use that to, for websites that are actually genuine, they actually rank higher, in Google search. So that also prevents,
but people don't know this information. You're just telling me this. I don't even know that. I just know that, okay, if I go to Google search, I want to search for, say, a football app. I'll just search football app, or I want to search for a loan app. I just search anything, loan apps, and then I see a lot of, all of them come online like that. I've fallen victims too, you understand? So, and I just see a lot of this, and I just go to all of them. And so, does it mean that Google, I'm not spoiling anybody's name, I'm just asking a question, does it mean that that's big platform that all of them come in on, that has some kind of a little bit of question mark up there about the credibility of the kind of informations that they keep there and the reviews that are on them?
Yeah, so I think, Google is also doing a lot to actually spot some of these, fake websites. But again, too, it's also important that even users, when they see some of these websites, they can actually flag them as, fake, websites, so that the authorities like, Google and other, internet platforms can actually take down those sites.
So promoting a consumer, what does it really take now when a consumer who sits back at home and he doesn't need to go to a physical store to go and buy his things, he just wants to sit at home, buy all his items just by the punch of the button? How do you protect him?
Yeah, so a way to protect users is that the one way is that they actually connect. You don't connect to the internet over shared resources. Say for instance, you go into a cafe and then you begin to browse over free internet, because some of those free internet Wi-Fi spots are also spots where people can actually steal sensitive information.
So what you're trying to say is that okay, like some hotels now, very big, you have some major hotels that people come in to come and book rooms and everything. They now say, oh, I need a Wi-Fi, a Wi-Fi, and also they give them Wi-Fi. That is not secured.
It's not too secure. You can browse the internet generally on shared free Wi-Fi, but it's important that you don't share personal information, things like your bank accounts, personal information, because those platforms are, because they are open, they are also vulnerable to stealing personal information.
So there's no way to actually barricade one's information from getting out there while using a public Wi-Fi. It
can be done, but the some of the providers of some of these free services would not want to tighten the bolts of the services too much, so that they can actually leave it open for users to enjoy that service. But again, it's advisable that as a consumer or as a user, you don't share personal information over, public, internet services.
So the consumer must always try to use his own personal internet connectivity to do such business.
Yes,
first of all.
Yeah, that was advised, yes.
All right. So now let's come down to the area of this is the private sector doing this. You understand? It is private. You are private. Then have you in any way come in contact with how it also relates with the government? Trying to protect consumers now, because there's a lot about consumer protection issues, out there concerning brands, concerning that and that. And there's also issues about protecting brands. So how do you link it between the private and the public sector?
Yeah, so, for government, it's important that, government also has, legislation to actually protect, consumers from, so that the government has legislation that actually protects consumers from misleading, content, such that, if somebody is in violation, there's punishment, so as to actually deter, people from doing that.
So let's go to the good things. Okay, now before I go into that, and we'll come to that in the second half now. So we'll go for a very short break now. I'll be right back to give you the second half of this great interview. Welcome back to Economy Today. It is the Economy Today, and we are here discussing brand promotion and consumer satisfaction. And yes, we'll be speaking with Mohammed Murtada, who is an IT business management expert who knows so much about that, and he's giving us his expert ideas on that. So, Mohammed, I was going to ask you now, what are the benefits of reviews? Good reviews. You understand me now? Good business reviews. What are the benefits and what are the challenges?
Yeah, so the benefit is that, so on the user side, it actually provides them, with more informed, provides them with information with which to take, certain decisions in terms of, when they need to actually make purchase decisions. And, for businesses, it's, they're able to gauge from reviews, they're able to gauge, customer satisfaction. And then two, they're also able to actually use that to, actually, transform their business.
Are this, trying to get that data now, because the data, trying to ascertain that this is the number of consumers we have, and this is their perceptions about our brands, our products, or whatever. So is it within that establishment, or that's the organization, or is it a private entity like what you are doing from the outside and maybe helping out in other helping other organizations do that?
Yeah, so there are some third-party review sites where they actually review businesses, and with those third-party sites, which is actually a place we are also playing in, is such that it's a platform where users and businesses can actually leave reviews, and then businesses can also get feedback from users, and then based on that, businesses can make informed decision in terms of how they are able to gauge customer satisfaction and also improve user experience. And then for the users as well, from those reviews, they can make purchase decisions where you have multiple competing businesses, and then based on those reviews, they can decide to go for either business A or business B.
So how interactive is it?
Yeah, so it's very interactive. You can it's a free site for users where users can actually go in there and then leave reviews. But again, because we are trying to ensure that they are genuine reviews, you also need to have show proof of transaction, as well as also a picture or a video of that experience.
So where does the consumer and the the product owners or the brand owners meet You know, how do they meet, especially on that review platform? You know, how do they meet? How do they get the right communications within each other to say, okay, this is what we want and this is not what we want?
Yeah, so you know, users can actually go in there and then search for businesses, and then based on, you know, those businesses, they can make you know, leave reviews and also read reviews as well of you know, other previous users who have actually used that product or service, and then based on that they make certain decisions. Now it's such that, you know, you can leave comments, and then as a user you can leave a comment, and then as a business, you know, you can also respond you know, to those comments. In addition to that, you know, users can also ask questions directly to those businesses, and those businesses will be able to respond. Now,
is this particular with every business?
Yeah, just about any business can actually register on that on the platform, yes.
On that platform now?
Yes.
So now, do you think, like Nigeria now being a third world country, or no, a developing economy, a developing country now, do you think we have gotten to that level where, you know, we say, okay, yes, for the past a year or 2 years, the issue of a business review and trying to relate the consumer and the brand together, you know, it's been sorted out?
Yeah, gradually I think it's a, you know, it's a growing process. You know, Nigerians are beginning to become aware that, you know, it's important they, you know, read reviews before they actually make purchase decisions. And businesses are beginning to realize that, you know, those reviews can actually give them insights in what, you know, customers want. And, you know, if they are able to get, you know, those actionable insights, they'll be able to provide to the consumers exactly what they truly want and need.
I have a challenge. Now, my challenge is that when people read reviews, I read a particular review, maybe 5 reviews, 10 reviews, or 20 reviews, they're all talking beautiful about a particular brand. How truthful is those reviews? Are they not maybe members of that same particular organization, you know, posting as people who are actually just sending out reviews on that platform to get unsuspecting consumers, you know, to buy or to, you know, go for that service?
So there's no system that is entirely 100% foolproof, but what we've done is also to create the, you know, certain reviews, or all reviews can be flagged. So it can either be flagged from the user side or on the business side. So if you actually suspect that, you know, a review is fake, you know, you just hit the flag button, and automatically that review is actually, you know, removed, is unpublished. And, you know, internally we would actually, you know, do our investigation, and then if we find out that truly that review is a fake review, you know, that review is not published. But if from our investigation we find out, you know, the review is, suppose, for instance, let's say it's a negative review, and the business doesn't want, you know, such kind of review, and then they, you know, they flag it as a fake review, you know, in that case we will actually republish the review on the website.
Okay.
Because the end game is actually to protect the customer and ensure that, you know, there's a level playing ground for both the business and the user or consumer.
All right, you say the level playing ground now. So now I wanted to ask this now: how do you identify, you know, the right brand to actually place to say, okay, yes, start reviewing the right thing? Because I see it's like what I see physically. You know, I can touch this book physically. What is online, I can't see it physically. I can only see it could just be maybe a graphic of something just in there. It looks beautiful, it looks so great, and I want to listen. So how does the consumer start to identify that when seeing after all the beautiful reviews on it? How does he now identify that this is a great product or brand that I should go for?
Yeah, so what we have also done internally is to ensure that you know, we can validate you know, businesses. So for businesses that actually have their, you know, that you know, provide you know, things like, you know, government issued ID, you know, we can actually check that based on, you know, the database that we have. And, you know, for those ones that's actually been confirmed to have, you know, the verified IDs, you know, they carry a special tag to actually say that, you know, that business is actually, you know, a verified business. And for those who have not provided that information, you know, it's an unverified business. And based on that, you know, the two different tags for the verified business and unverified businesses, you know, consumers will be able to make informed decisions.
So the verification comes from the businesses?
Comes from businesses, yes.
Okay, now when it comes from the businesses, what informs that verification?
Yeah, what informs the verification is to actually, you know, ensure that, you know, consumers are protected. Because if you have provided, you know, a government-issued ID, and then we do all the checks in the background to show that, you know, it actually checks out, it gives, you know, extra credibility to, you know, the business.
So now, from the part of the third-party organization who is monitoring the reviews and the rest of them, how do they to actually ascertain that the organization producing, or rather that has the brand, you know, has the right brand for the consumers, the right consumers? Because that is where I feel, yes, that is actually where the headache is. The third party, how they are able to ascertain that and then give the consumer the right reviews.
Yeah, so, you know, in that case, you know, as a business, the business has to provide, you know, certain verifications to ensure that, you know, they're actually a genuine business. And, you know, as a user too also on the platform, if they provide, you know, their verifications, you know, we can actually know that the user is also, you know, verified. And for a verified user and verified, you know, business, they actually carry special tag such that for each review, a verified business or user actually posts on the platform, you know, it carries extra credibility, unlike for those who have not been verified and, you know, they post reviews, it doesn't carry the same weight.
Sorry to cut you there. When you mean special tags, you know, maybe I will not be able to identify what is called a special tag on a particular brand or a particular thing. So how does people identify this is a special tag and then, oh, this is where we should go to?
Okay, so the tag is the verified tag. So on the platform, it carries a verified tag for the business that's actually been verified. And for a user who has also been verified as well, he also has the verified tag attached to his, you know, to his review. So for those who have not been, you know, verified, they carry the unverified tag for their reviews, yes.
Okay. So that means that when you are unverified, that means that the third-party organization won't be able to help you in that regard.
That's correct.
All right. So before we wrap up on this particular interesting interview, I want to just ask a final question. So what is your final take, like a 1 minute take on how consumers, you know, what consumers should do, or rather what brands should do to, you know, make sure that the consumers identify their brands properly and also give a right review?
Yeah, so what brands should do is that, you know, for brands that actually have, you know, government-issued registration numbers, something like NAFDAC, for instance, for food and drugs, you know, if you have your product actually carries, you know, the NAFDAC number clearly written, you know, it actually gives, you know, users the comfort that they need to say that, you know, this, you know, product is actually safe, you know, for consumption and use.